What up, y'all? This is your boy, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio, live from Dubai for Thursday, January 21st, 2016, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo. That's RAYMELO. On Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. The new full trailer for the upcoming Suicide Squad movie was released Tuesday, and it promises a lot of mayhem. In the tradition of the Dirty Dozens, DC Comics' bad guy do good action movie will likely be a dark but fun counterpart to March's Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice and to next year's Justice League movie. Featuring Oscar winner Jared Leto as the latest incarnation of the Joker and Will Smith as Deadshot, the movie revolves around a team of supervillains released from prison and brought together as Task Force X to save the world on what appears to be, in fact, a suicide mission. The film also features Oscar-nominated and Emmy-winning actress Viola Davis and is directed by David Ayer. The trailer debuted during a special called The Dawn of the Justice League on the CW, and hence the movie will give more background to Batman vs. Superman and also offer an appearance by Ben Affleck as Batman. The standalone movie is expected to be DC's first real challenge to the Marvel movie universe beyond Batman and Superman movies and is regarded as an intended rival to Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. The film opens August 5th. A YouTube user has launched a petition requesting that a PG-13 version of the upcoming superhero film Deadpool be released to accompany the original R-rated cut. Grace Randolph posted the petition to change.org after a fan on her YouTube channel sent a letter from her 8-year-old son begging her to let him watch the film starring Ryan Reynolds. The petition is accompanied by a video where Randolph outlines the reasons the young boy believed he should be able to watch the film, including promises to keep his room clean and cover his eyes when asked. With an R rating, though, the film may contain scenes inappropriate for a young child, which is why the petition seeks a more family-friendly PG-13 design. The petition states if there was a PG-13 version, he could, and his mom, Christina, could be a superhero rather than a supervillain. Deadpool officially received an R rating from the Motion Picture Association of America for strong violence and language throughout sexual content and graphic nudity themes, not typically included in a superhero film from Marvel Comics. Many fans of the comic book hero have been hoping the film would get an R rating, largely out of a stated desire to remain true to the source material. In some cases, it has even become a point of pride for those involved in the making of the film. In fact, 20th Century Fox, the film's U.S. distributor, has even released red band trailers in addition to the traditional green band previews. Red band trailers differ in the fact that they are not approved for all audiences, as green band trailers are. Deadpool has also caused controversy in China when censorship authorities denied theaters the right to show the film due to what they deem excessive offensive content. Randolph's petition has received more than 3,300 signatures by midday Tuesday, but the chances of getting a PG-13 version appears unlikely. The film's director Tim Miller has insisted the film will not shy away from the obscene nature of the comic book source material. The first footage of the upcoming superhero epic Wonder Woman has been revealed, featuring actress Gal Gadot in action as the iconic warrior princess. Premiering during Warner Bros. And DC Comics' Dawn of the Justice League special on the CW Tuesday, the teaser clips gave fans their first look of the now-in-production film, including information on Wonder Woman's origin and how she will fit into the larger DC cinematic universe. Chief Creative Officer of DC Comics and famed comic book writer Jeff Johns says, Wonder Woman is like one of the greatest superheroes out there, but people don't know her origins like they know Superman's origin or Batman's origin. So what we want to do in the film is really tell people who she is, where she comes from, and why she does what she does. Johns then goes on to explain how the film will explore the heroine's mission to protect the world, which her people, the Amazons of Greek mythology, have abandoned because man is not worth it. He said, she's an Amazon warrior. She's the best fighter in the DC universe. She has the strength and speed, and she's been trained her whole life for war. Gadot says in the new footage that also includes Chris Pine as Wonder Woman's possible love interest, Steve Trevor, we are going to see her coming of age, the entire history, what her mission is. He also added, telling a story like this now is pivotal and important, the story of a very powerful woman. Jennifer Lawrence's next role will see her visiting Cuba in the romantic spy drama Marita. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Lawrence has signed on into the film to portray real-life German native Maria Lorenz, who began an affair with Cuban leader Fidel Castro in 1959 when she was 19 years old. After leaving Castro in the midst of the Cuban Revolution, Lorenz then sought refuge in the United States, where the CIA then recruited her to assassinate the dictator in 1960. Scripted by American Hustle co-writer Eric Warren Singer, the film, which got picked up by Sony Pictures, will also be produced by Lawrence alongside Matt Tolmach, Scott Mednick, and Andre Raloux. Marita will be Lawrence's second film since winning the Golden Globe for Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy for Joy, alongside the recent wrapped-up sci-fi drama Passengers opposite Chris Pratt. During the Golden Globe ceremonies earlier this month, the Hunger Games star came under fire after she called out a reporter for being rude for using his cell phone while trying to ask her a question. Amid the backlash on social media, fellow actresses Anne Hathaway defended Lawrence in a lengthy Facebook post. Hathaway wrote on Friday, "Dear the Internet, it's become pretty clear that the Jennifer Lawrence scolding was taken out of context and that she was dryly joking with a journalist who was indeed using his phone to take photos of her." She continued by saying, "Let's not continue the sad but common practice of building people, especially women, up just to viciously tear them down when we are perceived them to have misstep. Jennifer is a beautiful, talented, widely successful, popular, four-time Oscar-nominated young woman. Please let us not punish her for these things." Ray Donovan alum Johnathon Schaech has signed on to play DC Comics' Wild West bounty hunter Jonah Hex in the CW's upcoming superhero team-up series Legends of Tomorrow. Schaech will be joining the time-traveling cast of heroes in Episode 11 of Legends as they travel back in time to the Old West to the small town of Salvation. Executive producer Mark Guggenheim previously said to Entertainment Weekly, "Ever since we decided that Legends would involve time travel, we were eager to do a story set out in the Old West." He continued by saying, "If you're going to do a story set in the DC Universe version of the Old West, you simply must include Jonah Hex in it. We're thrilled about bringing another well-known, beloved DC character to television." Hex, an anti-gunslinger who lives by his own moral code, was previously portrayed by Josh Brolin in the 2010 film Jonah Hex. DC's Legends of Tomorrow, which brings together heroes and villains from Arrow and The Flash, including the Atom, White Canary, Captain Cold, Heatwave, Firestorm, and Hawkman and Hawkgirl, debuts Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the CW. Production is now underway in Atlanta for Boo! A Madea Halloween, Tyler Perry Studios announced. The big screen comedy is to be distributed by Lionsgate October 21st. Perry wrote and is producing, directing, and starring in the project. Also producing are Ozzy Aru and Will Aru. The idea for the film dates back to when Perry and Chris Rock introduced a fictitious Madea Halloween movie in Rock's comedy Top 5. Lionsgate then approached Perry and suggested they actually make the movie. Lionsgate Motion Picture Group co-chairmen Rob Friedman and Patrick Rossberger said in a joint statement Tuesday, "We are thrilled to reunite with the iconic Tyler Perry, one of the greatest creative forces in entertainment and a beloved and cherished member of our Lionsgate family. Boo! A Madea Halloween brings together two great Lionsgate traditions, Madea and a Halloween movie, and we know that audiences will find the combination outrageous, hilarious, and unbeatable." Idris Elba has criticized the lack of diversity seen on British television while addressing the UK Parliament in London. Elba said on Monday, addressing British leaders, "There's a disconnect between the real world and TV world. People in the TV world often aren't the same as people in the real world, and there's even a bigger gap between people who make TV and people who watch TV." He continued by saying the TV world helps shape the real world. It's also a window on our world. But when we look out the window, none of us live in downtown Abbey. The Luther star continued lamenting the lack of minority characters present on British television. Elba even noted how the lack of diversity can hurt the country's economy. He said, "If you want to safeguard the economy, you have to safeguard the creative industries and then rely on talent. Talent is our lifeblood. We can't afford to waste it or give it away. But when you don't reflect the real world, too much talent is trash. Talent is everywhere, opportunity isn't, and talent can't reach opportunities." Elba also addressed how women and the LGBT community on television are often portrayed in stereotypical roles. You have to ask the question, are black people always playing petty criminals? Are women always the love interest or always talking about men? Are gay people always stereotyped? Are disabled people ever seen at all. After mentioning how he had traveled to the United States to find different types of roles and to reinvent himself, Elba pleaded with the Parliament to help make the British television industry more inclusive. He said, "Today I'm asking the TV and film industry to think outside the box and to get outside the box. This isn't a speech about race, this is a speech about imagination, diversity of thought." The actor's speech comes after the recent diversity controversy surrounding the Oscars, in which, for the second year in a row, only whites were nominated in each category. Academy President Cheryl Boone Isaacs discussed the lack of African-American nominations, mentioning how she is, quote, "heartbroken and frustrated about the lack of inclusion." And in a related story, former Oscar winner Whoopi Goldberg has spoken out against the recent boycott of the Academy Awards and has given her opinion as to why the nominees suffer from a lack of diversity. Goldberg opened up about the situation Tuesday on The View, explaining to viewers why she disagrees with Jada Pinkett Smith and Spike Lee's boycott of the awards show and why a lack of diversity in the film industry should be discussed year-long. She asked her co-host, "Why is this a conversation that we only have once a year? Every year we all get fired up and the rest of the year nobody says anything." The comedian then explained how Hollywood as a whole is to blame for the lack of diversity and not the Academy, who votes on which movies, actors, and filmmakers get nominated. She said, "It's not that the problem is that the people who are nominated are too white. They're not looking at a movie and saying, 'Oh, that's very white. I'm not going to nominate that black movie.' They're not sitting there like that. In the history of the movies, there's not been a plethora of black movies made because people think we don't want to see movies with black people in them," she continued. She also added, "So until you start making movies like the Avengers with more than 70 white folks saving the earth, and am I mad about this? You know why? Because I would like to be one of those people saving the earth, but they're not coming to me." Goldberg ended by stating how the boycott is unfair to this year's Oscar host Chris Rock. She said Chris Rock is the host of the Academy Awards, and so to boycott him seems just as bad as what everybody is saying. "We have this conversation every year, and it pisses me off." Candace Cameron Bure said she walked out of Tuesday's episode of The View because of illness. The 39-year-old television personality abruptly left the daytime talk show during a commercial break and later explained, "I left the show today because I didn't feel well, not because of the discussion. Saw the doctor, low blood sugar, and tested positive for flu B." Co-host Whoopi Goldberg and guest host Sunny Hostin were debating the lack of diversity at the Oscars when Bure appeared to point out she and co-host Joy Behar weren't being included in the discussion. Bure walked off set during the next commercial break. Goldberg said on Wednesday's episode, "Yesterday we were having a big conversation and Candace got ill and it turned out she had the flu. We were sitting here and she literally lost color and we thought she was going to pass out." Bure was a frequent guest host before being named a permanent co-host in August. She previously told People she doesn't take the show's notoriously heated debates to heart because she and the other co-hosts are friendly off-air. She said, "Things can get really heated on the show and we can disagree about things on a fundamental level. Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg do a great job of making sure we all know that nothing is to be taken personally. I think it's really important for society to see that we can have healthy, meaningful debates and treat each other with respect and kindness." Bure is best known for playing DJ Tanner on Full House and will reprise the role on Netflix's series Fuller House. The sequel show will premiere February 26th and co-star Jodie Sweetin, Andrea Barber, John Stamos, Lori Loughlin, and Bob Saget. Leonardo DiCaprio called for the elimination of fossil fuels during an award speech at the World Economic Forum. DiCaprio received the Crystal Award for his environmental work at the forum in Davos, Switzerland, and used the platform to call for responsibility from energy companies for their misuse of fossil fuels. He said, "We simply cannot afford to allow the corporate greed of the coal, oil, and gas industries to determine the future of humanity. Those entities with a financial interest in preserving this destructive system have denied and even covered up the evidence of our changing climate. Enough is enough. You know better. The world knows better. History will place the blame for this devastation squarely at their feet." He applauded worldwide efforts to reduce climate change, but stressed that more work needs to be done to improve the environment. He said last month in Paris, world leaders reached a historic agreement that provides a concrete framework to reduce carbon emissions. That was an important first step, but we are a long way off from claiming victory in this fight for our future, for the survival of our planet. DiCaprio, who is nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actor in The Revenant, also promises $15 million in grants for the environmental protection from his foundation, including funds towards protecting 6.5 million acres of rainforest from oil companies. The actor says the solution to the global warming crisis lies in moving away from the use of fossil fuels. He said, "Our planet cannot be saved unless we leave fossil fuels in the ground where they belong. 20 years ago, we described this problem as an addiction. Today, we possess the means to end this reliance." DiCaprio accepted the Crystal Award along with 3 other high-profile activists, including Chinese actor Ya Chen, artist Ofer Ellison, and musician will.i.am. Actress and model Pamela Anderson stood in front of members of the French Parliament Tuesday to speak out against the production of foie gras. Anderson, who recently was featured as the last model to pose nude for Playboy, visited the National Assembly in support of a proposed bill by France's Green Party halting the forced feeds of ducks and geese in a process called gravage, The Guardian reports. Anderson said, "I, as a Canadian, have come to France to voice my opposition to an industry that is equally as cruel as the baby seal massacre, the cruel treatment and slaughter of ducks and geese for another non-essential luxury product. During the gavage process, corn is pumped into a bird's stomach in order to enlarge its liver, from which foie gras is made. France reportedly produces over 20,000 tons of the luxury food item each year," CNN Money notes. Anderson continued, "I asked French MPs to abolish force feeding. Foie gras is not a healthy product and has no place in a civilized society." Although Anderson's celebrity status brought attention to the issue, many MPs in attendance were not impressed by her advocacy. Socialist MP Jean-Michel Clement reportedly said to France Bleu Radio following Anderson's appearance, "I'm totally indifferent to her. To me, she represents everything I dislike, including the superficial. She does no honor to the institution I am privileged to have a seat in." The National Assembly visit was organized by the Brigitte Bardot Foundation. MP Laurence Ablier of the Green Party told The Guardian, "It's not my job to go looking for famous people. It's the associations that do that," she told the French press when questioned about using celebrities to attract attention to issues. Kathryn Edwards made a splash on her Real Housewives of Beverly Hills debut Tuesday. The 51-year-old former model immediately had tensions with her co-stars over the women's interest in her connection to O.J. Simpson and Faye Resnick. Edwards felt her introduction was overshadowed by Lisa Rinna and Kylie Richards' questions about the pair. Edwards wrote on her blog, "Listening to the ladies talk about me and something that happened so tragically 22 years ago was disappointing. Not the way I want to start off new friendships. Had I known that there was so much filling in the blank space on hearsay, I might have thought twice about drinks." Edwards and Resnick were both friends when Nicole Brown Simpson initially clashed after Resnick claimed the model's first husband had an affair with Nicole. Resnick made the allegation in her 1994 book Nicole Brown Simpson, The Private Diary of a Life Interrupted, which was published after Nicole's murder. Edwards told People magazine of Resnick, "She never met me. She didn't know me. That always bothered me, that she acted like she did. I waited a long time. I'm one of those people who can't wait a lifetime to say what I have to say to somebody." Edwards was married to then NFL player Marcus Allen at the time of Nicole's murder, and has since wed retired NFL player Donnie Edwards. She and Allen both denied the affair, which Resnick claimed took place during the couple's engagement. Maya Rudolph made an emotional discovery on Tuesday's episode of Finding Your Roots. The 43-year-old actress, who is of a biracial heritage, broke down in tears on the PBS genealogy series after learning her young maternal ancestor was a slave. Her predecessor was listed only by his age, 5 years old, on an 1860 Kentucky census. She said, "I just think of my kids. That's really hard to see. Just when I understood what the numbers were that I'm looking at, it's what broke my heart. You just don't think of details because you don't have them. I see 5 and I think of my daughter." Rudolph is the daughter of producer Richard Rudolph and singer Minnie Riperton, and shares 4 children with husband and director Paul Thomas Anderson. The actress said she appeared on the program after years of feeling a little orphaned by her mixed race identity. She shared, "I have this thing where I just feel know I can be anyone. I know I'm from peoples, but I don't know who they are. I want to know people's names. I want to know what they did. I want to know where they live. I want to go as far back as possible. Rudolph also learned of another slave ancestor who was denied his liberty and compensation in the 1830s after being freed following his owner's death. Her third great-grandfather challenged his owner's son in court and was granted his freedom. Finding Your Roots host Henry Louis Gates told People magazine, we always have a box of tissues. Most guests cry, male and female. You just don't know where that moment of complete apathy will happen. It's almost as if they're stepping inside the identity of an ancestor. The star-studded foie singing competition series Lip Sync Battle has been renewed for a third season, Spike announced. The 20-half-hour episodes will be taped later this year, Kevin Kay, the cable television network's president, said Tuesday. Kay said in a statement, Lip Sync Battle is a multi-platform pop culture phenomenon that has played an integral role in delivering a new and broad audience to Spike. The premiere date for Season 3 will be announced in the near future. Spike released Wednesday a preview clip of Tracee Ellis Ross performing Nicki Minaj's Super Bass. She and her Blackish co-star Anthony Anderson will face off on Thursday's edition of the program, which is in its second season. Lip Sync Battle is hosted by LL Cool J and Chrissy Teigen. The show is executive produced by Casey Patterson, Jay Patterson of Matador Content, John Krasinski, and Stephen Merchant. Actor Jake T. Austin is reportedly dating a longtime fan whom he met on social media. The former Wizards of Waverly Place actor posted a photo of himself and 22-year-old Danielle Caesar sharing a kiss on Instagram. In the caption, Austin wrote, "I'm crazy for her." So reports say Caesar was a dedicated fan for over 5 years, since 2009, when she started tagging the real voice actor on Twitter. Capital FM reports some of her tweets read, "I want to meet at Jake T. Austin so badly," and "Oops, at JT Austin, is it bad that I want to kiss you right now? Oh, you're so freaking hot." Other tweets from her now private account reportedly show Caesar dreaming of one day marrying Austin and pastoring posters of him on her walls. Entertainment Tonight reported the alleged couple first met during a meet and greet in New York City in 2011, where she tagged him in another complimentary tweet. The actor is said to have followed her back on social media afterwards. Bindi Irwin and boyfriend Chandler Powell were spotted sharing a kiss during a family Hawaiian vacation Tuesday. The photo obtained by People showed the two standing barefoot on a beach in northern Oahu, 19-year-old Powell stooping down to give the television personality a kiss. The couple have been accompanied 17-year-old Irwin's mother, Terry, and brother Robert on the trip, which Irwin has been chronicling on Instagram. Over the weekend, Irwin shared a clip of her little brother and Powell lip-syncing to Adele's hit song Hello while driving in a convertible. She captioned, "Sorry at Chandler Powell, but you and Robert honestly bring me so much joy. I think I laughed for a good 20 minutes at this one." Adele, Kendrick Lamar, and Little Big Town have been booked to perform at next month's 58th annual Grammy Award ceremony in Los Angeles. The event honoring excellence in music is to take place February 15th at the Staples Center and will air live on CBS. Additional performances are to be announced shortly for the gala, and which will be hosted for a fifth consecutive year by LL Cool J. A special tribute will be made to the 2016 Music Cares Person of the Year, Lionel Richie. More than 10,000 people have signed an online petition urging rapper Kanye West to stay away from the late David Bowie's music. West has not confirmed he's working on singing some of Bowie's famous songs from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, but based on reports that he is, about 10,000 people have signed the UK-based petition created by a user by the name of Peter Parantha. The petition description reads, "David Bowie was one of the single most important musicians of the 20th and 21st century. It will be a sacrilege to let it be ruined by Kanye West." News of the online campaign comes shortly after an article published in the Daily Star on Wednesday quoted an anonymous source as saying West is working on covering Bowie's music. The source said some of our straightforward cover versions with Kanye actually singing. On others, he is rapping with his own lyrics over Bowie's music. After David Bowie's death on January 10th, West did take to Twitter to express his condolences. He said, "David Bowie was one of my most important inspirations." He tweeted on January 11th, "So fearless, so creative, he gave us magic for a lifetime." Now here are the top 10 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 singles charts for the week of January 30th. Number 10, Justin Bieber, What Do You Mean? Number 9, Megan Trainor featuring John Legend with Like I'm Gonna Lose You. Number 8, Shawn Mendes with Stitches. Number 7, Drake with Highlight Bling. Number 6, Alicia Cara with Here. Number 5, Selena Gomez with Same Old Love. Number 4, 21 Pilots with Stress Out. Number 3, Justin Bieber with Love Yourself. Number 2, Adele with Hello. And the number 1 song on the Billboard Hot 100 singles charts for the week of January 30th, Justin Bieber with Sorry. And now let's take a look at what happened on this date in entertainment history. On this date in 1957, Arthur Godfrey's Town Scout introduces America to Patsy Cline. Patsy Cline, one of the most important figures in country music history, first gained national attention with her winning appearance on Arthur Godfrey's Town Scout on this date in 1957. Widely admired for her incredible voice, Cline also stood out for her trailblazing independence as a female star in an era very much dominated by men. As many classic recordings as she left behind, her career was hampered for many years by a terrible recording contract and cut short by her tragic death in an airplane crash en route to Nashville from Kansas City in March 1963. Arthur Godfrey was a major figure in American radio and television in the 40s and 50s, presiding as host over a number of different programs in both mediums simultaneously. From his morning news and chat show on CBS Radio to his variety show on CBS television, Godfrey was a popular and ubiquitous presence for the better part of 2 decades. His most popular program was Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scout, a program featuring amateur entertainers making their national television debuts. Among the future stars who got critical early break by appearing on Talent Scout were Tony Bennett, Lenny Bruce, Marilyn Horne, and Pat Boone. A certain loose, hip, young singer from Memphis by the name of Elvis Presley failed to earn a spot on Talent Scouts in 1955, but otherwise the show's track record was admirable. After several years of struggling for a breakthrough in small venues and on regional radio, Patsy Cline made the most of her invitation to Talent Scout, wowing the studio audience with her performance of the now classic Walking After Midnight. Walking made it to number 2 on the country charts and number 12 on the pop chart, strongly hinting at Cline's crossover potential. But the strict terms of her recording contract with the small label called 4-Star limited her to work with that label's stable of songwriters, who failed to write another hit for Patsy for the duration of her contract. It was not until 1960, when Cline signed on with Decca Records, that her fortunes improved. Under the direction of legendary Nashville producer Owen Bradley, Cline scored a number 1 country hit with I Fall to Pieces and another with She's Got You, and then a top 10 country and pop hit with the Willie Nelson penned Crazy, the classic recording for which Patsy Cline is perhaps best remembered. And that's your entertainment report for Thursday, January 21st, 2016. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo. That's RAYMELO. On Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Good night, and God bless you all.